The Minecraft overworld is filled with loads of unique and colorful biomes that offer players everything they need to survive and thrive. But what if we remove the access to all these biomes by attempting to survive 100 days in a Lush Cave Only world? Most Minecraft blocks, animals, plants, and items won't be available to us, and things as simple as getting wood or decent food will be a full-blown challenge early game. Oh yeah, and we'll be playing in hardcore, so I honestly cannot wait to be in a spooky cave surrounded by mobs with literally nothing to protect myself. But just to be clear, I don't only intend on surviving. I want us to actually thrive in this world and build our very own underground haven. Okay, so there we are in a Lush Cave Only world. We've got a couple friends over here, so I'm probably gonna go in the opposite direction. So we've already got some diamonds, and there's loads of ores and stuff, but first I need to find some wood, because I can't mine anything without it. Oh, no, 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 no. Okay, this is exactly what I didn't want happening. Yeah, skeletons are gonna be so deadly. Yeah, I have nothing to protect myself. And I can't craft any tools or anything. So I think I'm gonna grab some of this moss so that I can attempt a quick getaway in the worst case. And I'm also gonna collect some glowberries because at the moment, they are my only source of food. Yeah, I need to find either a grown azalea tree or maybe a mine shaft. I guess I just need some bone meal for growing these, but I cannot fight a skeleton. Like, I'm just gonna die instantly. Okay, so I'm gonna get this guy. He takes ages to kill. I'm gonna eat a bit. Okay. Oh, and I might grab this dirt so that we can start planting some crops on it as soon as I get some tools. Yeah, this is so bad. Like, I'm struggling just to get some food, and I can't even go down there to explore because there's way too many monsters. Oh my goodness. We've got a mine shaft. Oh no. And we've got a friend. No, no. Oh, okay, he scared me. Yeah, I feel I'm gonna be jump scared so many times in this video.
Hello there.
This is gonna be so difficult. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna have to head up there super carefully. We can officially make a crafting table. Oh great, I used up my last berry. Well done, Tootsie. And I have officially run out of blocks. No, 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 no. Oh no, I don't know what to do. Oh no. Okay, this is bad. Hopefully this will be enough. Okay, this is what I call Tootsie's safe space. Nobody is allowed to get in, and that includes you, mister. So now I can peacefully gather up a bit of wood to start making some tools. Yeah, of course, we don't have any iron here. This is really not handy. Okay, perfect. I'm just gonna make the Tootsie safe space, and let's get this iron. I kind of broke my safe space here. Oh dear. Oh, oh, oh. No, no, no. I've got my iron here. Come on. You are making things very hard for me. Okay, do you know what? I'm gonna smelt some iron and make a shield because you are very annoying. I'm gonna try just killing him like that. Okay, he's gone. So I decided to make myself a full set of stone tools because I really feel I need them all. Like, I want to start gathering some string, and also I'll need the hoe for farming. So yeah, next off, I really need to focus on getting some food. Yeah, don't try to tempt me to look at you, mister. Yeah, I think that's it for the moment with the mine shaft because I'm really struggling on food there. Like, I didn't even get some rotten flesh from the zombies. Oh my goodness, I keep planting the berries by accident. Not you again. I might just do that. Yeah, that'll work. Oh no. Oh no, this is not good. There's 100 people waiting for me. Okay, I'm gonna go up this way instead. Yeah, I feel like the food situation is quite tricky and there's monsters everywhere, so I really need to get that sorted. So I think what we're gonna do is craft a bucket, and then I need to go grab some of this water so that I can start planting some wheat seeds. Oh, and before I forget, I probably need to start crafting myself some armor. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna make my starter base around here. As we've got some water, it'll be easier. It seems I've used up all the dirt I had, so we're just gonna plant one single sad wheat seed. I decided to go out and mine as many ores as possible, and I also collected plenty of berries. I went to look for some more dirt, but I got ambushed by some zombies and a skeleton. So brave as I am, I of course fled the scene and hid inside a hole in the wall. Yeah, that was a bit of a close one. Okay, I'm gonna try and make it back quickly. So I need to finish crafting my armor, and I think it could be good to start getting some diamonds here as well. I went back out to collect some extra iron and berries, and finally I mined my very first diamond. I mean, wow, we've got 3 different diamond veins in like one small area. Yeah, I'm gonna start getting some of these flowers to decorate my base. Oh, and we've got another diamond. I mean, honestly, diamonds are not gonna be very difficult to find in this video, but I guess it'll be the only easy thing about it. Yeah, I'd actually like to start killing some skeletons so that we can start growing trees to get wood more easily. So I'm straight away gonna craft myself a diamond chest plate because we can never be too safe in hardcore. Oh great, he despawned. Although I'm not too worried because I'm sure we'll find another skeleton fairly easily. And I'm hoping we can get a potato from a zombie because then I would have a way better source of food than berries. Yeah, I can hear some skeletons around here, so I'm wondering if maybe there's like a spawner or something. So I turned on the subtitles and we're gonna have a look around if we can maybe find them. Okay, we've got it, guys. Let's say hello to the bony men. Yeah, I need to be careful because I don't have a lot of food. Oh, yes, perfect. Attack each other. Ah, these guys are so smart. Why aren't there any chests? Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed there. I thought we were gonna get loads of good loot, but sadly, it doesn't seem like it. Okay, never mind. We did manage to get some bones, so I think now it's time to grow our very first azalea tree. So now I'm wondering, is the area large enough? Oh no, there's probably not enough space. Okay, I don't want to waste my bones, so we're just gonna head back to the other place. And there we go, we finally have our very first tree. I mean, honestly, it feels great being able to finally chop down a tree because normally it's the very first thing you do when you start a new world. So yeah, I guess things are fairly different in a cave-only world. So we finally have a chest to put all our stuff inside. And I also realized for the door, if I put one out of wood, it's just gonna get destroyed by zombies. So I think we're better off just having an iron door. Yeah, it's just gonna be a little bit annoying to get in and out, but we're better safe than sorry. And for the window, let's put some iron bars. Oh, what's happening here? Oh dear. I mean, wow, this is super cozy. It doesn't feel at all like we're in a prison cell or anything. I managed to find some more dirt, so we're finally gonna be able to plant some more crops. Yeah, I'm basically transforming my prison house into a crop field. I mean, this feels a bit weird, but after all, this is Minecraft. Oh my goodness. There was some dirt on my ceiling the entire time. What are we gonna do with you, Tootsie? Now, it's not that I don't love living in a small prison, but I think it's time to find a suitable place for building our forever home. So I crafted myself a diamond helmet, and I also made this bow as we've got a couple arrows. So I feel here would be pretty cool because it's quite spacious, but of course there's gonna be loads of mobs spawning, so I'm gonna have to light up the area quite a bit. So yeah, Tootsie is going in focus mode. Look who we have here. So I'm gonna catch this little guy, and I actually already have a name for him. He's gonna be Brownie. There are so many axolotls. Aww. Oh, and I'm also gonna get all the diamonds I can find so that we can finish making the full set of diamond armor. Okay, so where is the yellow one? There he is. So you're actually gonna be a girl, and I'm gonna call you Evie because someone in the comments wanted me to name an animal after them in one of my videos. Oh dear, we've got a friend. There we go. Yeah, these guys are doing the fighting for me. I really appreciate it. I started off by collecting some diamonds I had missed, and then I moved on to placing all the dirt I had in a pond, and then I planted all the wheat seeds I had on top. I also grew a couple azalea trees to be able to get more wood, and I even built a little fence around this pond so that Brownie and Evie could swim around freely. So I originally wanted to add some mods or resource packs to get more items in the cave or like different types of wood, but I thought, what could challenge me more than trying to build with a restricted block palette? So yeah, we'll only have oak wood available from the azalea trees, but for example, I could turn all this clay into bricks, and I actually found a geode, so I feel like the purple amethyst blocks will be perfect for adding color to the base, and the calcite can make nice white walls for my house. So yeah, let's go ahead and collect a bunch of these blocks. So today I was thinking we could start clearing out this area for building the starter house on top. And like that, at the same time, I'm actually collecting some clay because I'm planning on using bricks for the roof. preparation for building the house, I decided to explore the cave a bit further, to collect some more ores, but also to kill off some monsters for the useful loot. So the zombies surprisingly were for food, skeletons for bone meal, and the string from the spiders can come in handy to block the glowberry vines from growing everywhere. Once I got back, I planted and chopped down some azalea trees for building, and then on day 9 I got some extra dirt and spent the whole day gathering some oak planks from the mine shaft as I had run out of bone meal. On day 10, I noticed a slime had spawned, so I got a couple slime balls from it in case I need to craft some leads later on. And now it's finally time to start building this starter house. We're gonna start off with an 11 by 15 block base, and then we can fill everything in with oak planks for making the floor. Next, we're gonna make the walls out of calcite because I feel the white contrasts well with almost any block, so it's a perfect color to use when building with a limited block palette. For the windows, I'm going to use some oak trapdoors, and then we can make a little porch at the entrance. I started building the outline of the roof at the front, and I added lanterns and glowberry plants underneath to decorate. I used some brick walls and fences to make a small overhead cover for the porch, and then I built a small opening in the roof, which will add a bit of detail to the top of the house. I placed a bit of string underneath some of the berry vines so that they will have different lengths. After that, I started building the shape of the roof on the side, and I also killed off a couple mobs that were trying to innocently admire the cozy house being built. So here is what we have for the starter house at the moment. I started making the shape of the roof on one side, but we don't have enough wood for finishing the second side. So what we're gonna do is number 1, get some more wood. Number 2, I'd like to find some quartz for finishing up the entrance. And finally, I'd like to get some glass for the upstairs window. So we'll be heading up near the surface to try and find some sand. So yeah, first off is getting the wood. While we're continuing the house, let's learn a bit about caving, which is called la spéléologie in French. What defines caving is the study and exploration of caves. Before being related to outdoor activities, caving is a scientific discipline. Since prehistoric times, humans have used caves as shelter during bad weather and as protection from predators and other enemies. Caves have always been surrounded by many mysteries and beliefs, giving them a mystical quality. The first visits to underground environments date back to the 18th century, but the most important date for caving is 1888, which marks the creation of modern caving thanks to E.A. Martel, who founded the scientific discipline of caving with the exploration of the Bramebiao cave in the Gard department situated in France. So now that we're done with this part, I'm actually going to collect a bit more calcite, and we're also going to head back this way to the lava lake to get some obsidian for making the portal. Oh well, look at that, guys. We have found a pink axolotl. He's a bit stuck there, so I'm gonna pick him up. And we're gonna find a name for him once we arrive back at base. So I'm gonna put him in with his friends. I'd actually like to name him Piggy, just because he's pink. So yeah, we've got Brownie, Evie, and Piggy. So I'm gonna build the nether portal here so that it's not too noisy near the house. So yeah, off we go to get some quartz. Yeah, I just realized we've got some bone blocks in the nether, so this will allow me to plant loads of azalea trees. And we also have a couple skeletons for getting arrows and extra bones. Yeah, I've always wondered, why do some mobs randomly start breakdancing sometimes? I mean, if any of you guys know in the comments, I would love to finally know the answer. Okay, now for the entrance, we're gonna start off by placing some stairs on each side, and then we're gonna fill in behind here with some quartz, and finally, let's place the door. So the house is almost complete, but it is missing a roof. And for that, we're gonna use some bricks. So yeah, let's switch to the replay mod. We're done with this side of the roof, but I'm actually running out of coal, so I think we're gonna start heading up to collect some. And also, once we reach the surface, I'm gonna have a look for sand as well for making glass. So we've been mining coal in Minecraft for years, but do any of you guys know exactly what it is? Coal is an organically derived material formed from the remains of decayed plant material that were compacted into a solid form through millions of years of chemical changes, pressures, and heat. The rich carbon content of coal gives it most of its energy, which is released as heat when burnt in the presence of air or oxygen. This energy can then be converted into other forms of useful energy, such as electricity. So we've reached the surface here, and I think it's either an ocean or a river, so I'm simply gonna look around underneath to see if I can find some sand. Yeah, I'm really sticking to the cave-only rule in this video, so I'm not gonna go completely at the surface of the world. On day 17, I started off with a bit of farming, and I harvested all the wheat that had grown. I used the bone meal from the fossils I'd found to grow a bunch of azalea trees, and I also added vegetation on the ground around the house. Finally, I grew some glowberries on the vines I'd planted under the roof so that it would light up the front nicely. Once I'd smelted enough clay, I filled up the second side of the roof with bricks, and I really feel like we have a nice overall color contrast on this starter house. Well, it seems we've got another visitor in the farm, and I think we're gonna name him Simon. Now, on the side of the house here, I'd like to build a little glass area so that we'll have a nice view of the Lush Cave. So for that, I need to move all the axolotls, so I think I'm gonna do their pond maybe in front here. So yeah, let's make a bit of space for the new axolotl pond. So this is what we have for the pond at the moment, and now I'm quickly gonna pick up some drip leaves for decorating. Let's just put a couple in. So yeah, I'm not putting them too close to the sides because I don't really want the axolotls using them to get out. And now let's get everyone in. Yeah, as it's a bit dark, I might go get some glowstone in the Nether to put on the floor of the pond. Oh, and that just gave me an idea. I think later on we're gonna do a huge portal like in the center of the cave. I feel it would look so good. After mining some glowstone in the Nether, I placed a couple blocks at the bottom of the axolotl pond, and it made it look a bit brighter and added some color. Let's remove the old axolotl fence, and now I'm gonna start tracing out where I want the veranda to be. Yeah, there are so many different axolotls spawning at the moment, so I think I'm just gonna gradually bring them over to the main axolotl pond, and then later on I'm just gonna build loads of ponds filled with axolotls. I think it will look really cute. So the new white one will be Annabelle, and the second yellow one will be Max. And we're gonna fill the bottom here with some oak logs. So next, let's move on to the roof. So first we're gonna use some stairs for the lower part, and then let's fill in the top with slabs. And finally, to brighten up the area, we're gonna add a couple lanterns. So yeah, here is the little glass area. By the way, just a disclaimer, I took inspiration for the house off a build that I found really cute, but sadly I couldn't find the name of the person who made it, so I won't be able to tell you guys. But yeah, this makes such a cute starter house. Now let's move on to decorating. So first I'm gonna add a couple pots in front of here, and we can also make some shutters using oak trapdoors. Next, we're gonna work on the upper windows of the house, so we'll have a little oak cover above made out of oak slabs and fences, and then underneath we'll put these azalea leaves in a sort of suspended plant pot. We can then add some glass panes and lanterns to make it more bright. I repeated the exact same thing on the other side, and then I worked on the flower beds around the ground floor. So I first removed the excess moss and made an outline using stone brick slabs. I then filled up the gap with moss and planted flowering azalea bushes on top with some leaves to make them taller. Once that was done, I worked on the back entrance using quartz and placed a door. On day 21, I added some oak fences on the side of the house to add extra detail on the outer wall, and I also headed back into the Nether to collect some more bone blocks. Back in the overworld, I harvested the entire crop field to be able to stock up on food. After that, I focused on chopping down a whole load of trees for the starter house, and I also used the dirt I had to make a path at the front, adding amethyst blocks and oak for contrast. I used all the oak planks I got to fill in the second floor and continued adding structure and decorations inside. Caves or caverns are natural openings underneath the Earth's surface. Exogenous caves are smaller openings that extend a relatively short distance underground, such as rock shelters. Caves which extend further underground than the opening is wide are called endogenous caves. To make it easier to remember, exo means outside and endo means inside. So for example, an exoskeleton is a rigid external covering for the body, and an endoscopy is a procedure in which an endoscope is used to examine or treat organs inside the body. I find knowing the etymology of words can help you understand correctly their precise meaning, even if you come across words you have never heard before. Yes, I did divert a bit from the caves here, but I thought this could be useful information to some of you guys. So as you can see here, I made this adorable axolotl pond in the floor for Max and Annabelle, and I thought having this glass floor would make a fun detail in the house. So we've got a nice, cute starter house, but I'm realizing there's all these deep slate columns which don't look too good, and also they will be in the way of any future builds we do, so I think we'd be better off removing all of them. So off we go for a fair few days of mining deep slate columns. It is of course not the most exciting part of the video, but it's essential for prepping the area for the future Tootsie base. By the way, what do these columns actually represent? Cave columns occur when stalactites and stalagmites fuse together. Stalactites grow down from the cave ceiling, while stalagmites grow up from the cave floor. It's easy to remember which is which. Stalactites have a T for top, and stalagmites have a G for ground. They basically form when water dissolves overlying limestone, then redeposits calcium carbonate along the ceilings and floors of underlying caves. Yeah, I was about to destroy these two pillars, but I realized this could make a really nice nether portal. I kind of wish it was more in the center, but that's no big deal. First off, I set to work gathering loads of obsidian for the portal frame, and then I started tracing out a large rectangle at the back of the deep slate structure. I had smelted some cobbled deep slate, so I used it to hide the portal frame, and now I guess we can just light it up, and we've got this really nice portal surrounded by the natural cave columns. I spent the next few days removing the remaining columns to clear out the area nicely. So I feel we've been doing quite a bit of decorating and also a lot of mining. So to change things up a bit, why not go on a little adventure? So basically, I was thinking if we can find a nether fortress, we could then make some ender eyes to find the stronghold, and this will enable us to start enchanting. So yeah, I think we're just gonna have a look around, and at the same time, we can gather some useful stuff. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the basalt delta terrain, especially with the magma cubes, so I'm gonna try staying as much as possible in the nether waste biome. Okay, so right up here, we actually have a mushroom, so we're definitely gonna go get it because mushrooms are quite nice for decorating. Yeah, and I'm gonna be careful not to fall in one of these holes. Oh, and right here we have a warped forest and also some red mushrooms. So this is really perfect for getting ender pearls because we've got loads of endermen spawning in this biome. Oh my god, we've got a fortress here. Yeah, I thought it was just the terrain, but then I saw this wither skeleton. Okay, so I need to find a way to get down. Oh dear, this is a bit tricky. Yeah, let's maybe get to this island first, and then we'll go across here. And I'm just hoping a ghast won't spawn right next to me. Okay, so first I'm gonna start killing a couple endermen. And of course, very important, let's get some mushrooms. Yeah, they're not actually very important, but they're a great addition for decorating. Oh, and of course, if I'm missing some ender pearls, I could trade a bit of gold with these piglins. Oh, and maybe these shroom lights could be nice as well, because they will brighten up the cave really well. Yeah, I mean, just getting infinity on my bow would be so handy. I guess it's time for a bit of blaze killing. Thank you. Very nice of you. We got a skull from like the second wither skeleton I killed. Yeah, I don't think we'll be summoning the wither in this video, but it's still pretty cool. Oh my god, he scared me. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of these guys when they jump scare you. But yeah, honestly, I feel we already have everything we need. We've got the warts in case we want to make some potions, and some blaze rods for the ender eyes. Yeah, I do think it would be worth killing a couple more endermen, just so we have enough pearls. Okay, so let's craft a couple ender pearls, and I'm gonna throw one to see in which direction the portal is. Okay, so it's behind the house, and of course the pearl broke. This is perfect. So it's approximately in the southeast direction. So as I don't want to be mining deep slate for days and days, again, I think instead we're gonna make our way through the Nether. The southeast direction is this way, so I'm gonna walk a bit and then we're gonna build a portal. So I'm gonna try building the portal around here. And by the way, I have found a second Nether fortress, so that's pretty cool. Okay, now we just need to light it up and let's see where we spawn. Oh my goodness. I was not expecting that. I mean, at least this spawner has a chest. Okay, now we need to check if we're close or not. So I think the direction was here originally, but let's see. Oh no, where did it go? I didn't see where it went. Oh no. Hello? Okay, I'm gonna do it again, never mind. Okay, I think we passed it. Okay, so this means we're pretty close. So I know it's quite boring, but I think I'm gonna mine over to it. So as I'm gonna be mining for quite some time here, I wanted to tell you guys about the most famous prehistoric cave in the world. I noticed a lot of you guys enjoy when I talk French from time to time, and the cave I'm going to tell you about was discovered in France. So I think it'll be quite fitting to have this next fact in French, although I will obviously translate it for you guys. La grotte de Lascaux est découverte en 1940 par 4 adolescents proches du village de Montignac en Dordogne. Ils ne le savent pas encore, mais ils viennent de faire une découverte archéologique exceptionnelle qui apporte avec elle une nouvelle ère dans notre connaissance de l'art préhistorique et des origines humaines. Il n'est pas possible de visiter la grotte originale car celle-ci est fermée depuis 1963 pour des raisons de conservation. En revanche, les visiteurs peuvent visiter une réplique fidèle réalisée grâce au savoir-faire de l'atelier des facsimilés du Périgord. Yeah, I've noticed by recording in the two languages, my voice actually sounds super different. I'm not really sure why, but maybe it's because of how different you pronounce certain sounds and words. Okay, here it is, guys. I am so happy to have found it. Oh wow, what a surprise. We're in prison again. Yeah, I was getting a bit worried because my pickaxe is completely out of health, so it would have been pretty annoying to have to mine with an iron pickaxe the rest of the way. So I don't really care much about finding the portal. I'm actually just here for the bookshelves. Oh my. Wow, that is a large amount of creepers. So we have found the first library, and we're just gonna go ahead and break a ton of bookshelves. Yeah, we're finally gonna get efficiency 4, unbreaking, and infinity. This is gonna be game-changing for building the base. And now it's time for the bumpy way home. By the way, if there's anyone watching that is currently learning French, I'd like to say well done, because French is a really difficult language to learn. And also, if any of you guys are learning English, I really hope that my videos can help, and I feel like I talk fairly slowly, so hopefully it makes it easier for you guys to understand. So I carefully made my way through the Nether and back to the Lush Cave. So for crafting the enchanting table, I need to find 2 more diamonds, but thankfully they are super easy to find. Like when I was mining the columns, I saw a couple around here. Yeah, there were 8 diamonds here, and I mined them all directly because diamonds are so easy to find. Like, I don't think I really need Fortune 3 in this video. Yeah, it seems we've got more than enough books. Wow, that's not... Wow, what did I do? Oh my goodness. Tootsie, what are you doing? But yeah, as I was saying, I feel we've got more than enough books for crafting and enchanting. What is happening to me right now? What a way to use up 8 diamonds. Well done, Tootsie. Yeah, I'm tempted not to leave this in the video, but I deserve to be laughed at right now. So I forgot the expression in English, but pour remuer le couteau dans la plaie, I'm gonna do something really silly. This is what I call silly Tootsie being silly Tootsie. Yeah, did I just waste an entire day for nothing? Obviously. Well, at least now we're sure I'm gonna do a bit of enchanting. Oh, and first I actually need to find some more diamonds. I can't seem to remember why I have none left. It's a bit of a mystery. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, there was another diamond up here. Oh dear, it seems I was doing a whole speech on how easy it would be to find some more diamonds, but... Oh, okay, no, I didn't say anything. We've got some. Oh great, there's only one. See, that's why you should never be overly confident. But at the same time, they are so easy to find. Yeah, look, there's another one here. Okay, so now that we've got a brand new diamond pickaxe, we need to figure out which table we're gonna use. Okay, I think it's time to stop with the enchanting table jokes. So I'm gonna start off by getting efficiency on the pickaxe. Oh, and perfect, we've got silk touch as well. Oh dear, I don't know what's wrong with me, guys. I wanted to make a grindstone. Okay, the explanation might be I went for a really long hike in the mountains yesterday, so I am quite tired, to be fair. Okay, this is a bit better, but I'm realizing I'm probably better off doing a bit of editing because this person right here is a bit tired. Okay, so we are one real life day later. It seems some Minecraft days are longer than others. So let's get back to enchanting. I think we're gonna put efficiency on the axe so that chopping down trees will be a bit quicker. Next, we're gonna get protection 4 on the chest plate, but for that I need to go mine some quartz to get my levels back up, and it's been a while since we've had the mining aligned with the music, so let's jump in. And look what I have found. We're finally gonna get a pet chicken. Well, only if I manage to get this chicken back to the overworld. So first I need to trap him in a tight space to be able to safely remove the rider. Now all we have to do here is remove this block, and then the smart chicken will go in the hole, which will suffocate the baby zombified piglin. Yeah, these chickens do not have a care in the world for their rider. And now we just need to craft a boat to make sure the chicken won't despawn while I head back to the Lush Cave to get a lead and some seeds. So as I got silk touch on my pickaxe, along with efficiency 4, I have to mine the quartz a second time with an iron pickaxe, and this is not very handy, but it is what it is. So I got protection 4 on the chest plate, and next we can get infinity for the bow. So I was killing these slimes, and I suddenly thought, why kill this poor baby slime? So instead I put him in a boat, and let me present to you the newest member of the Tootsie gang, Timmy the Slime. Now, back to Mr. Chicken, I'm going to make him a little pen with some carpets so that I can easily get in and out. And now I guess we just need to bring the little guy over. Yeah, there are gonna be so many dangers for this poor chicken, like even these skeletons could accidentally shoot an arrow at him, so we'll have to be super careful. I got Mr. Chicken out of his boat and put him on a lead. I made sure to remove any dangerous bits like fire, and for crossing this awkward bridge, I'm gonna lure him with seeds so that there are less chances of him falling off. Then began the long and perilous trip of Tootsie and her chicken in the unforgiving Nether wastelands. When crossing the Basalt Delta biome, I was very careful to block up all the holes with lava in them, and once we reached the Soul Sand Valley, I had to repetitively detach Mr. Chicken from the lead to safely go kill all the skeletons. I even had to beware of ghast because they could turn Mr. Chicken into fried chicken any chance they got. But somehow I managed to defeat all our enemies, and we made it back to the Lush Cave safe and sound. So I guess the chicken desperately wanted to meet all the axolotls, but I got him out of the pond and into his dedicated pen, where we shall name him Albert. I piled up with the extra quartz I got and mined it until I reached 30 levels. So let's see if we can get a friend for Albert. I guess not. I got infinity on the bow, and then on day 42, I made little signs for all the animals, and I even made one for Timmy the Slime. I'd like to build a second house, but way larger this time, so we're gonna start clearing out the area on the side here. It'll be divided into 4 parts, so we'll have 2 large parts for the main house, with a small barn on the side for Albert to live in, and on the opposite side, we'll have a huge tower that could serve as a mill for making bread. So first I went to get an extra diamond for crafting a new pickaxe. I got a bit of lava and some buckets, and mined a bunch of quartz for enchanting. My attempt at getting a friend for Albert was once again unsuccessful, but I did get fortune 3 for the pickaxe. I'm gonna use the lava we got for smelting loads of clay, and we can also chop down a whole load of trees for the upcoming build. As it's gonna be quite big, I'm also gonna use a larger variety of cave materials such as stone, granite, and even copper could look great for the tower roof. I grabbed a bit more deep slate and lava buckets for smelting, and then on day 47 I climbed up to the geode we had found to completely remove every single block of calcite that was left, and I of course took some amethyst blocks and crystals for decorating. And I think we might as well take some diorite for contrasting a bit with the calcite on the house wall. I still didn't manage to get a friend for Albert, but I'm done collecting materials, so I guess it's time to start building. Let's begin by tracing out the outline of the main house with the future small barn on the end. To make it easier, I'm gonna build the tower at the end, so I didn't trace the outline yet. We're gonna use some calcite and oak logs to build up the walls, and I will add some diorite in them later on, but I'm only using calcite at the moment to make things a bit quicker. I went to collect a bit of tuff, and I used it to make the entrance, mixing it with some stone bricks. I added this funny hole at the top of the roof to place in some shroom lights, and then I built up the roof on the main house with the same kind of lighting at the top. Brighten up the walls, I added these hanging lanterns in the corners, and after finishing off the outline of the small barn roof, I moved on to working on the tower. So what we're gonna do is like a tower that grows up literally from the cave floor. So we start off with some deep slate at the bottom that gradually transitions into tuff, and we finish off with some stone at the top. To connect it more to the house, the top will be made out of calcite so that it fits well with the overall build. On day 51, it was finally time to fill in all the roof, so I used a mix of bricks and granite, which gives a fairly nice mix of texture. For some extra details, I'm gonna add some leaves around the house and also flowing down from the roof. For the upstairs windows, we can add some hanging leaf baskets using signs, and for the shutters, we can place some trapdoors all along the sides. I also added a bunch of glowberries on the house because I feel like they make anything look way cozier, and I love having a cozy base. And now, last but not least, let's finish up this tower. To make the transition between the stone and the calcite, we can add some slabs and trapdoors, as well as a window on each side. We can also repeat that at the very top where the future roof will be. For the latter, we're gonna use a mix of copper, granite, and bricks, which will give a really nice mix of textures and a bright orangey red color. Okay, so there we have the large build complete, but we still need to work on the inside, and also I'd like to finish Albert's barn so that he'll be a little bit more comfy. Okay, I'm gonna try again to get him a friend. Oh my goodness, we're not being very lucky. I'm sorry about that. And by the way, just a sneak peek at what we're gonna do next. I'd like to build a cute little bridge connecting these two parts, and I might transform this area into a large lake for the axolotls. So to finish with the house, we first need to clear out all the remaining deep slate on the inside and fill up the walls with a mix of calcite and diorite. Then we can remove all the deep slate at the bottom and place a nice layer of oak planks as flooring. And of course, let's add a nice wall in Albert's new home with a moss bed and a small pond in the center. I agree, it's not the coziest place I've ever made, but with the limited amount of space we have, it's the best I can do. Okay, Albert, I'm gonna get you out of this small pen to put you in an even smaller one. But I mean, honestly, he seems quite happy in here, so I guess it's okay for him. Now, for decorating the interior, I could do a detailed explanation like I placed this log and then I placed a stair and then a trapdoor, but somehow I feel it would be a bit more interesting to have a fact. Now, does Tootsie want to share a serious fact in link with the subject of the video, or will she do a completely random fact that'll make no sense in this particular situation? I guess you'll find out in a few seconds. The world's oldest dog lived to 29.5 years old, and the oldest cat lived up to 38 years. By the way, if any of you guys have a pet, I'd love have to learn more about them in the comments, and I might name some of my future Minecraft animals after them. And to continue with the animal facts, the Earth's rotation is actually slowing, and this means that on average, the length of a day increases by about 1.8 seconds per century. Yes, this is an excellent animal fact, thank you Tootsie. I think it's high time you focused again on what you're doing. So as I have a lot more space in here, we're gonna build a little kitchen with a furnace and a campfire burning underneath to make this nice smoky effect. I'm also making this sink with a stair and some water, and then we can add some étagères. I momentarily forgot how these are called, and actually in my everyday life, when I forget a word in one language, I just say it in the other language, and I guess you can call this franglais or franglish. The word I was looking for is shells, by the way, and we can add some plant pots on top. On day 58, I continued decorating the inside of the house with different shelving and storage units, and I also added some moss carpets on the floor for a bit of that Lush Cave vibe. Next, we're off to the prison starter house to dig up all the dirt I had on my ceiling because, as we just built a farmhouse with a tower that serves as a mill, it would make sense to have a large wheat field growing on the side. Yeah, I still didn't get a potato from killing zombies, even though I have killed loads. So our primary source of food is going to be bread. And no, I'm not going to eat poor Albert. I feel like wheat crops look quite nice, even just for decorating, and they fit perfectly with the new build. Did you know that wheat is one of the oldest crops in the world? It started being cultivated in the Middle East almost 10,000 years ago. To give you an idea of how long ago that was, Britain was still part of mainland Europe and would not split off for another 2,000 years. Wheat cultivation is even older than the first cities in the world and the first solar calendar ever created. I'm going to use the remaining dirt we have to extend the pathway along the front of the new build, and here I attempted yet again to get a friend for Albert, but I just ended up smacking him in the face with an egg. Poor thing, I mean he has no friends and his mum throws eggs at him. I shoveled down the dirt to make path blocks, and then I added some amethyst and oak slabs for detail like I'd done next to the starter house. So we're gonna remove all the wheat from the first field because I won't be using it anymore, and instead we can plant all the seeds around the house and also a bit on the sides of the pathway to add a bit of variety in the vegetation. Okay, so now it's time to focus on building the little bridge I'd mentioned. So off we go back to the Stronghold to collect way more books. I basically just broke every single bookshelf in the library, and now that I think back, I'm really silly because I could have just used my Silk Touch pickaxe on them so that I could collect the bookshelf directly and not only the books. But once again, they don't call me Silly Tootsie for nothing. Day 62 was one of the most fascinating days because all I did was chop down wood for the bridge, and we all know how fun repetitively chopping down trees is. And to be fair, the highlight of my day was crafting lecterns and cutting stone into different shapes. Now, let's get to the fun bit. So we're starting off by creating the shape of the bridge using stone bricks, stairs, and walls for the parts that will go underwater. The bridge will have 3 main arches, and I feel this will give it a really cute look, and it's nicer on the eye than just a flat, straight bridge. For adding details, we'll be using oak stairs, slabs, and trapdoors on the sides with a couple oak logs on top, and the lecterns we had so much fun crafting. Now, a bridge is more useful if you are able to walk across it, so we're gonna connect the 2 sides with some bricks. And for lighting, let's place some lanterns on top of brick walls, and to stop the bridge from collapsing, even though we are in Minecraft and blocks hold still in midair, we're gonna make these small columns with the brick walls going all the way down to the floor. And finally, it's great to have a bridge over nothing, but I think adding some water would be nice. So we need to completely fill up the top here with moss blocks, and once we're done, let's fill up everything with water, and when we break all the moss, the water will fully submerge the large hole, and we now have a lovely pond for any visiting axolotls and tropical fish. We don't have the possibility to collect lily pads or corals in this world, as I haven't seen any wandering traders, so instead we'll be using a combination of oak trapdoors and amethyst crystals to make these nice aquatic flowers. And we might as well add crystals everywhere because they look super good. So I said the tower was going to be a mill, but there's actually nothing in it. So we're going to add an oak floor and some hay bales. And in the center here, I'm making this weird thing that is supposed to break down the wheat seeds and transform them into flour. Yes, what I did is completely complete nonsense. But in Tootsie's imaginary world, this is a mill you turn by hand, and the wheat seeds get crushed by the stone above. Let's maybe forget about this. In connection to what we just did, I want to build a bakery because we've been eating enormous amounts of bread, so it would be fitting to have a special place to make it. Yeah, we are clearly not surviving anymore. Players that build imaginary mills and bakeries are definitely thriving in their worlds. After filling up the top of the ravine for building the future bakery, I headed over to the Nether with all the gold I had and started trading with this friendly chap. If you're wondering what item I specifically want, I'd like to hang little item frames with bread on them, so to get leather without having to mess with hoglins, I think trading is my best option. It's handy because I'm also getting ender pearls for unlocking the end portal, because indeed, we are going to fight the ender dragon by the end of these 100 days, as I love combining relaxing building and fun adventure time. My piglin friend started attacking me when I opened my chest, so I had to kill him, but I felt quite bad because he had spent 99% of his Minecraft life trading with me, so it was maybe not the most fulfilling life. Back in the overworld, I found a second geode in the same ravine as the first one, so I gathered a bunch more calcite, amethyst blocks, and crystals. We had another great start to the day with some exciting wood cutting, but soon enough, the bakery was underway. It'll be divided in 2 parts, and the other side will have a nice bread oven for the baking. And now, to have a fun fact, the French government passed a law in 1993 dictating how baguettes are made, forbidding pre-prepared dough. Baguettes must also be made at the same place they're sold from. So yes, the French are very picky when it comes to their bread, but also with their wine and cheese, it's not just a cliche. On a different note, sailors and military men ate incredibly tough bread called hardtack. The word tack comes from sailor slang for food, and this bread was baked up to 6 times, making it incredibly hard. This was because it could last for a long time at sea or war without going bad. I guess Tootsie videos are the only place where you can have facts on caves and bread in the same video. To change up from the usual brick roofs, I'm using some moss for the bakery, and then we can bone meal it to add grass and azalea bushes. Inside the bread making part, we have this little worktop with some bread and wheat to show the creation process. And then on the side we have this cozy brick and granite oven with a loaf of bread baking, and I used a glowing item frame to make it look like it's cooking. As a final detail on the roof, we're gonna add some fences at the top, and there we have it. The little bakery is all done. So this random zombie has joined Timmy in his boat, so we're gonna name this guy Zog the Zombie. We're off to find some more dirt pockets in the cave wall, and I'm gonna dig it all up for creating pathways back at the base. So I'm extending the path from the front of the starter house around the axolotl pond and over to the new bakery. By the way, a path in French is called un chemin, and there is a famous proverb that says tous les chemins mènent à Rome, meaning every path leads to Rome, and it basically means that there are many ways to achieve the same result. This saying refers to the extensive road network built throughout Rome's history, which stretched over 400,000 kilometers at the height of the Roman Empire. And no, the path we're making simply leads to the bakery, not Rome. I think today it's high time to replace this ridiculous enchanting layout. So in its place, we're gonna make a tall watchtower, even though we're in a cave, so there's no point staring far in the horizon, as there is no horizon, just a boring deep slate wall. After gathering up some extra stone for the build, I hatched another one of Albert's eggs, and guess what? We finally got him a friend. Well, I guess it's more his son than his friend, and we're gonna call him Einstein. And then I chopped a tree, and then another, and another. Fascinating stuff. I started building the tower directly in the center of the enchanting area instead of removing it. I guess I was using it to measure the correct size of the tower base, but it did look fairly weird. So you guys probably know that the tallest tower in the world is the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. But there is currently another tower being built called the Jeddah Tower in Saudi Arabia that will reach up to 1 kilometer in the sky. So yeah, the watchtower I'm currently building probably won't be be as impressive. I finally decided to remove the random bookshelves around the bottom of the tower, which made things look a bit less ridiculous, and I continued working on the upper part. So we have 3 different levels. The bottom is out of stone bricks, the middle has this little white circle on each side, and finally the top will be out of calcite as well, so that the color tones link with the other builds, as we're going for a kind of Lush Cave Village style base. For working on the roof, I ran into a small but real problem: the cave ceiling. So I spent a bit of time mining all the blocks above me for building the roof frame, and I felt like having oak logs all the way to the top looked a bit off with the dark brown color, so I piled up on each side to strip all the upper logs to get this lighter color that didn't stand out as much. I awkwardly finished building the outer rim of the roof, banging my head every 2 seconds on the deep slate, and then I started filling up the inside with bricks to once again stay in the color theme of the base. So yeah, here is the watchtower all done, and the Burj Khalifa definitely cannot compare to such an incredible tower. And now, as we did for all the other builds, we can dig up the ground leading to it to add some dirt, amethyst blocks, and oak slabs for creating the pathway. Next off, let's head over to the other side of the pond, and we're gonna clear off all the clay and water to make a nice flat surface for our next build. So as it's situated right next to the water, we're gonna build a little fishing hut, and we can pretend that it's for getting fish to feed all our axolotl friends. In preparation for the build, I went ahead and chopped some wood again and again and again. So let's just skip to day 81 and jump into the fun stuff. So the fishing hut will be elevated from the ground, as I will extend the pond a bit underneath, so we can make these upright poles out of oak logs, and we'll have a smaller part on the side where the entrance will be. Stilt houses are basically houses raised on stilts or piles over the surface of the soil or a body of water. They are built primarily as a protection against flooding, but they also keep out vermin. Stilt houses are quite common in Southeast Asia, Oceania, Central America, Madagascar, etc. And for a change, let's build this house with a bit of music. Okay, so here is our little fisherman's hut on stilts, and I'd like to make a little dock on the side of the pond so that our imaginary fisherman friend can go fishing. So I'm using some fences to hold it up, with some barrels in the middle to walk on, and right on the end here I'm doing a smaller area with some pressure plates, so it looks a bit weird with the gaps, but I didn't want to use oak trap doors as they've got loads of holes in them. I'm also going to use a couple item frames to place some fishing rods here and there. Like that, there is no doubt that this is a fishing hut. Underneath here, I'm going to remove some of the clay so that we can extend the pond inland and the stilts can actually serve a real purpose. Last but not least, we're going to make the path all around the fishing hut and over to the entrance. So I know we're not building a bridge here, but a path is quite similar to a road, so I wanted to explain the difference between a viaduct and a bridge. A viaduct is a long bridge-like structure carrying a road or railway across a valley or other low ground. On the other hand, bridges are built across rivers or arms of the sea, whereas viaducts tend to cross valleys and low-lying areas where there may or may not be a river. And for a bit of etymology with Tootsie, via means road and the duct part means to lead. This is the exact same principle for aqueduct, which literally means to lead water, because an aqueduct is a bridge for water and a viaduct is a bridge for road or railway. I noticed these glowberry vines are growing all over the top of my builds, so I'm going to start placing some string underneath to stop them from growing too low so that we can see the houses better. To decorate all the empty parts, I'm going to grow loads of vegetation, trees, and even large mushrooms look really nice, and they add some color as well. I extended the path near the bakery over to the Nether portal, and on the other side, I started digging up the clay hill because we're about to build a really large bridge all along the side of the cave, which will offer us a really stunning view of the overall base. So this is the perfect opportunity for yet another bridge fact, and we're heading back to France on this one because the highest bridge in the world is the Millau Viaduct, in French, le Viaduct de Millau, which measures 343 meters high. And I actually have some friends living in Millau, so I'm giving them a little shout out. We have to note that the Millau Viaduct will soon be dethroned upon the completion of the Huajiang Grand Canyon Bridge in China. I probably butchered the pronunciation, and it will become the world's highest bridge by deck height, measuring 625 meters. Now that we're done with the bridge structure, let's add some decorations like azalea bushes, leaves, and I'm also placing loads of little plant pots everywhere because they look really adorable with mushrooms or azalea bushes in them. So yeah, here is what the bridge looks like, and the view from it is really nice, so I guess it fits its purpose quite well. I'm delighted to say the Lush Cave base is officially complete, and I really think it looks amazing. Like, I would love to live in it in real life. Though I'm not too crazy about being jump scared by mobs randomly, but that's just how it is in a cave-only world. Now we're gonna focus on the ultimate goal, beating the Ender Dragon. I first set off in the Nether and back to the fortress to hunt some more blazes, to be able to brew potions and craft ender pearls for opening the end portal. Back at the Lush Cave, I moved on to a bit of potion making, so I used the blaze powder for strength potions. I also refreshed the enchanting table for getting power on my bow, and I headed back to the Nether, but this time it was to mine a whole load of quartz. I got power 4, I went back mining to get protection 4 on my leggings, and I had also crafted a sword for the occasion, so I enchanted it with sharpness 4. Now, for stocking up on food, I harvested a bunch of wheat that I then threw on my weird oak fence contraption, and after moving my mouse like an idiot over the bakery worktop, I crafted some bread in the crafting table to finally place a single piece in front of the fire to pretend like it was actually cooking and I wasn't just staring at an item frame with bread on it. After this immensely useful bread staring part of the video, I went back to doing something that was actually useful. So I mined extra quartz for levels and enchanted my boots with protection 4. I want to brew some slow falling potions, or else I'm just gonna die being kicked in the air by the dragon. So I headed up to the surface to kill some phantoms, and yes, I'd admit I had to step out of the cave for 2 seconds to be able to get the membrane, so I hope you guys won't be too mad. On day 98, I put the membrane into the brewing stand and got some slow falling potions for the fight. At that point, I honestly felt more than prepared, so I just put this random enchantment on my helmet, and then I combined my infinity bow with the power 4 one. Okay, so off we go, guys. Let's make our way over to the Stronghold. Upon arrival at the portal room, I destroyed the silverfish spawner and placed all the ender eyes in their slots to open the end portal. And now it's fighting time with some epic music. Okay, so the fight went great, but I just realized I forgot to take some torches, so I won't be able to take the egg, but the most important part is we have beaten the game. Okay, so this is it, guys. We have spent 100 days in a Lush Cave Only world. So as this is the last day, I think we're going to do a little walkthrough of the entire base. So first off, we of course have the starter house, and as you can see, Max and Annabelle are still happily swimming around in their little pond. I mean, I'm using these poor guys as interior decorations for my house. It's pretty bad. Next off, we built the farmhouse, and I guess we've got a friend here that wants to participate in the video. Yeah, the little guys are friendly, so I'm just gonna let them follow me around, I guess. Oh, and very important, we've got Zog and Timmy. Oh, and I forgot to plant the seeds again. Whoopsie. But yeah, we've got this incredible, very realistic mill. And then what did we build after that? Yeah, I think it was the bridge, but I'm not really sure. Oh, and of course, let's say hello to Albert and Einstein. So yeah, I'm not going to talk too much about the bridge because it's basically just a bridge. And then I think we made the bakery. And there is no doubt that it is a bakery because I put a piece of bread on the beam. Yeah, if you're wondering, this is exactly how bread is made. I've got to say, this little bread baking area is fairly cute. Oh, and of course we made this huge portal, and I added some amethyst blocks because it makes it look that much more mystical. And last but not least, we have the fishing hut with the fishing rod on the wall. Oh dear, I actually forgot the watchtower. Yeah, this build was very useful. This is what I can watch from it. Thank you so much for watching the video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. And I've got to say, it was quite a fun challenge to survive 100 days in a Lush Cave Only world. I had never done it before, and it's quite fun because you have to work way more to get essential materials and items. And on top of that, I had to think more about what block palette I should use for my builds, as we didn't have any spruce wood, for example, which has to be one of my favorite blocks to build with. I feel our cave base turned out really nicely, and we could almost forget that we are in a deep dark cave because of how cute and cozy it is. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe because it really helps out the channel, and I guess I will see you in the next video. Love you!